Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys have had a fantastic week, and hello everybody in the live chat room. Let's get you guys up on screen because we have Pam, Lynn, Karen, Alexi, Ray, and Shawnee, Linda Z, Vince, and Michelle. Neil's moderating in there with Carla as well. Susan and Dennis are in the house, and Laurie's moderating in there as well. And Stan and Frank. So we have a full house of moderators tonight. So thank you, moderators, for doing such a great job. And tonight I've got my backup of water as well as a plug of the mug. I've always got to have some orange squash on the go for these live streams, but you can't be too safe, so we've got the backup of water because I do talk quite a lot on these live streams, so I have to keep everything going, as you guys know. But let me get the names of my patrons up on screen as well, because they make this live stream possible, as well as every single video that I do on this channel. So a massive thank you to you guys at the bottom of the screen. You know who you are. And we have had a bit of action in the super chat window already, so let me get that up on screen. But also point your eyes in the direction of the target for tonight's likes, which is set at 360. That is what we are aiming for. And the pick roulette likes target is set at 365. So those are our targets for tonight. Let's see where we are with our likes, because we are already past 100. We're at 109. So thank you everyone for hitting that thumbs up. And if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be much appreciated. And let's jump into the super chat window, and let me get rid of a few things on the screen so it's not quite as busy. We'll get rid of that target. We can just remember that it's 5 above the likes goal tonight. So into the super chat window, and thank you guys for all of these donations so early on, coming in before the live stream even started. Orlando has donated $2 as usual. Thank you, Orlando, just the first out of the blocks, and that was at almost 2:30 this morning. So thank you for that. And the message is, as always, spike the likes with lots of thumbs up. And I always plug the mug when Orlando has a donation in there, so there we go. And if you want to get your hands on a mug, it'll be in the tray underneath this video, or head over to teespring.com, type in Wings of Pegasus, and you'll find all of the merchandise there, as well as on wingsofpegasus.com, which is where you can get all of Carla's merchandise. And I think we've been going through quite a few pick tins. So the Wings of Pegasus tin, which I hid behind my mug, is there, and you can get your hands on one of those. Just message Carla, and if you do that, then she will send one over to you, and you can organise that all. But we have been having a lot of pick tins going out the door, so thank you guys for just buying all of the merchandise in general. It is much appreciated. And just to look into the super chat window again, Marilyn has donated $2, and thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, wouldn't want to be anywhere else with a heart, so thank you for that. And Ginny has donated $40, thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, if you could start your own band with guitar, bass, drums, keys and sax, who besides Jimmy would you pick to play in it? Take care. So thank you for that. And if I'm going for a fantasy band, so you know, living or dead, doesn't matter. Obviously Jimmy would have been in there, but discounting Jimmy, so first of all, rhythm guitar it would have to be probably Malcolm Young. I'd go for with, I mean, this is something that could probably change the more I think about it and go around, but I'm just going to say the first names that pop into my head for this fantasy band. So we've got Malcolm Young on rhythm guitar, bass. We'll go for Tommy Shannon, so he's just the name that popped into my head. And Double Trouble, of course. I mean, if it's good enough for Stevie Ray Vaughan, it's definitely good enough for me. Tommy, just amazing. Drums. Because I'm not allowed to have Jimi Hendrix, I'm going to have Mitch Mitchell. So Mitch Mitchell will be on drums. Keys. I did think the first name that came into my head there was Elton John, but I'm not sure whether that's going to be particularly applicable. I mean, it certainly would put on the show, but maybe Leon Russell, just to throw that in there, considering that I've done an analysis video recently on Leon. So Leon would be in that keys position, and sax. Okay, saxophone, I'd have to go for Edgar Winter, because he played on Simply the Best, the Tina Turner track. I always mention that because a lot of people don't know that that's Edgar playing saxophone on that song, and it was such a great solo. So there we have it. That would and those are all the positions filled. So thank you for that message. And that would be my first names that pop into my head, dream band. So thank you for that, Ginny. And Marilyn has donated $2. Again, thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, congrats on 161,000 subs with a heart. So this is the thing. This has never happened before, where I've done a live stream on Tuesday celebrating just getting over 160,000 subscribers, and it was amazing and fantastic that everyone's subscribing and are getting a lot more messages, and it's all very busy. And it's the first time that it's happened where on Tuesday we've then live streamed on Saturday and we've gone up by over 1,000 in that short space of time. So for some reason things have really been busy and people are subscribing, which is great. And we haven't even had that going from one Tuesday to another Tuesday. So it just so happens that, there's been a bit of an avalanche of subscribers, which is great. And we're now at 161,000. So thank you everyone for not only hitting the thumbs up, but subscribing to the channel as well. It is much appreciated. And just to point you guys in the direction of tomorrow night's video, that's going to be my chat with Buck Dharma that we had on Thursday night, and we did talk for a very long time. So this is why editing it down to about 15 or 20 minutes is a bit tricky, and I'll probably release other videos in the future at some point where we show the other things that we were talking about, because we're talking about Richie Blackmore because he was a huge inspiration to Buck when Buck was learning to play the guitar, but also he pushed the boundaries in so many different ways. We spoke about rehearsing, production, effects, guitar effects, playing with small hands, because Buck's one of those guys who doesn't have a big hand span but still is a top level player. So just breaking it down as to how he approaches it. So many things. I'm not going to name them all in this live stream, but I'll probably try and edit some of that together and release them as subsequent videos. But on Sunday we're mostly going to be chatting about, or tomorrow night we'll be chatting about the Simple Remains album, the new Blue Oyster Cult album, as well as them hopefully getting over to the UK here with Deep Purple later in the year, which will be great. And so look out for that video. That's coming out tomorrow night. I've still got to edit together parts of it, because like I said, getting it down to 15 or 20 minutes is what I'm aiming for, so I just have to edit it in such a way that I get all the important points about the album in there. But thank you for these donations, and Marilyn for pointing out that 161,000 subscriber mark. And also on Tuesday I mentioned about if we ever get to the 200,000 subscriber mark, on the pick roulette that we have, when we do reach that pick roulette likes target, there's going to be a guitar, like a real life proper guitar on the wheel. So it means that somebody can win that when, hopefully, if ever we get to 200,000 subscribers. That's going to be something that I'm going to then add to the wheel, which will make it a little bit more exciting to think that every time it's spun, somebody could be getting a new guitar. But anyway, thank you also Deborah, who has donated $10, and the message is, just want to thank you for all you do for us. You have kept our spirits uplifted during this pandemic. So thank you for that, Deborah, and it's just something that I would be doing anyway. My life hasn't really changed with the whole pandemic thing. The pandemic here in the UK is still very much in full flow, unfortunately, because everyone's on lockdown, and that's why Nobody can leave their houses, but I don't leave my house anyway because I'm always answering messages or making videos or editing videos. So it's something that hasn't changed my life at all. If anything, I am now busier than I was before the pandemic, and I think more people are just watching YouTube. So I will keep on doing this as long as people are there watching. If you guys enjoy the live streams and the videos, then I will keep on doing them, and I'm only able to do them because of all of your support as well. So thank you guys for all of that, especially over on Patreon, because that really is the foundation of everything that I do here on the channel. So we are going to be moving on with the first video of the night, but let me just scroll down. We'll do one more of these donation questions, and it was Orlando who has donated again $5. Thank you for that. The message is, I will be enjoying a family dinner with loved ones tonight. Enjoy the stream, everyone. Rock, with some rock horns. So it looks like Orlando is going to be in the catch-up crew tonight, and you guys can still hit that thumbs up if you want to help us get towards that target. But also in the catch-up crew, you can still hit that thumbs up, and the catch-up crew is when you're watching it not live. So when you're watching it afterwards, all of those thumbs up still help if you're watching it not live. So we'll do one more. So Marilyn has donated again $5. Thank you for that, Marilyn. The message is, hi Phil, you get asked questions all the time by fans, but if you had a one-on-one professional interview, who would you want to do it with? A heart. So thank you for that question and the donation. And just off the top of my head, probably, well, just to throw it out there and an excuse to go over to the USA, James Corden, who is from the UK. I think he has a show over there. I'm not sure what it's called, but maybe you guys over in the USA know James Corden's show. But it would be cool to go over there and chat to him because of the fact that he's English as well. And yeah, I'd then get to go over to the USA, which would be cool as well. So that'll be my answer. Thank you for that, Marilyn. And let's jump into the first video of the night as requested over on Patreon. And this was... just as I say that, the Adobe Flash Player is just telling me to update, which isn't the screen that I want to go to, because you cannot stop that from happening. It doesn't matter what you're doing, it just pops up and stops. So I was going over to Patreon, but then it sent me over to that Adobe website. But we are back on Patreon now. I've just avoided all of that and just ignored it. So having a little look down the list of requests, we had a few for We Can Fall Down, so we're going to have a look at that. That's one of my songs, and this was requested by Sue, so thank you for that. Also Lynn was pretty early on requesting that as well, and let me just have a scroll down, but I think that's pretty much it. And Donna right at the bottom there requested this one as well. So thank you guys for your requests. I'm gonna play this. I'll be in the chat room while this is playing, and I'll see you guys after. Rock.
What am I supposed to be? I got
And there we have it. That was my song called We Can Fall Down, and you can get that, the album version of it, at wingsofpegasus.com/music, but you can also get it on iTunes and Amazon, but it's better for me if you go to my website, because then I don't have to give away a percentage. So looking at the screen, we are at 212 likes already, so thank you guys for being very efficient with your thumbs up tonight. If you haven't used it yet, then it would be much appreciated if you could. We're aiming for 360 tonight, which, by the way, we did manage to hit on Tuesday, so the Tuesday live stream crew managed to get to that total, so we'll see if the Saturday live stream crew can achieve the same thing. Have a little competition against each other on the live streams. But I know that a lot of people do tune in on Saturdays, and on Tuesdays it's a little bit more difficult for people to turn up, but we managed to do that on Tuesday, so we'll see where we end up if we can get that same title that we got on Tuesday, the title of getting the likes goal and just succeeding with it. We actually got as far as the pick roulette target as well, so that means that on Tuesday we're going to be having a pick roulette, and we are having one tonight as well, so stay tuned for that. It could be your lucky night and you could pick up a Wings of Pegasus signed pick, which is this, and that's what it looks like. That's the signature on the back and the Wings of Pegasus logo on the front. You can also get Wings of Pegasus picks at wingsofpegasus.com as well in the merch section. But let's get back into the super chat window because we've had some action in there. And Ginny has donated again $5. Thank you for that. The message is, for Jen and I's trucker friends, Fred and Danny Joe. You two are awesome, and thanks for what you do, and Phil, thanks for being you and making us smile. So no problem, and thank you for the kind words, but also thank you for the shout out to Fred and Danny Joe, or Fred and Danny Joe. Yeah, hopefully I've read that correctly, but thank you for that. And also Jen and I's trucker friends, which are Fred and Danny Joe. I'm just making it sound even more complicated than it is. But thank you for that donation. And hello to Jen as well. Stephen has donated $2. Thank you for that, Stephen. The message is, got my CD. Sounds great. Turned up to 11 with a smiley face. So Stephen is following the instructions there that come with the CD. So thank you for that, Stephen, and it's good that it sounds great, and thank you for those kind words, and also for following the instructions. Michael has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Michael. The message is, are the nerves in your hand a part of your brain? Does it understand English or practice? So thank you for that, Michael, and I'm not sure what that question means, but of course, your nervous system is connected to your brain. That's how we think things and then control all the movements. So your hand is going to be controlled by your brain, by the nerves and all of the nerves that lead into the muscles to make them contract. You send a little signal and it pulses the muscle in order to get it to contract. So yes, your brain is going to control your hand, and it's all to do with your nerves. And does it understand English or practice? And it doesn't understand languages. So anybody, it doesn't matter what language you speak, you can become very good at controlling your motor skills and having great ability on the guitar. For example, it doesn't matter which language you speak. Anybody can pick up a guitar, just practice, go through the motions, and they will improve, and you'll improve all of those motor skills that are so unique to playing the guitar. But thank you, Michael, for that. And Totoro Poco has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is, have you done much playing without a pick? Would you ever consider playing something like a soft ballad with just finger picking? So thank you for that. And yes, I teach guitar, so I teach fingerstyle guitar. So it means that I've learnt to play fingerstyle, and it's probably come around from just teaching very popular finger picking songs, some slightly more advanced stuff as well. Simon Garfunkel just as a band, or the classic fingerstyle to throw in there. And yeah, so yes, I can play, but in terms of putting that into my own music, because I'm into hard rock, it's very much a plugged in kind of sound. The only time that I don't play electric guitar is when I do a stripped back version of one of my songs, but I don't really tend to do that much because I don't class myself as an acoustic artist. I'm more of a hard rock and classic rock and a little bit heavier in the guitar sound and going for effects on the guitar. I don't tend to bust out the acoustic guitar live. If I am playing live, it's going to be a full band setup. So I don't really play that, and I'm not sure that I'd bust it out or play fingerstyle in my own music, but if I'm doing a cover of another piece, More Than Words, for example, I've covered that on the channel here somewhere where I am playing fingerstyle on that. So if it is a fingerstyle song, then I will obviously employ fingerstyle technique. But thank you so much for that question. And David has donated $2. Thank you for that, David. The message is, don't just spike the likes, spike the punch. So thank you for that, David. And there's no punch from me here, but maybe there is a live chat room punch going on. It's hopefully not going to get spiked, because then it might make the moderator's job very difficult. But thank you for that, David. And Andy has donated $10. Thank you for that, Andy. The message is, thanks for chatting with The Warning, and no problem. And thank you to The Warning for joining me on the channel. You guys can see that interview here somewhere. If you just type in British Guitarist, The Warning, Wings of Pegasus, just some search terms, you'll be able to find it on the channel. But also, I think I've done 2 analysis videos on The Warning as well, so look out for those. But thank you for that, Andy. And Carl has donated $10. Thank you, Carl. The message is, the usual plus a little extra. Sold another print for takeout, pizza, Chinese or whatever. Stay well and COVID free, everyone, please. So thank you for that, Carl. And Carl's determined to get me to eat lots of fast food. So thank you for another donation towards that. Still, I haven't had Chinese in a while. I think the problem that I have with Chinese is just the time restrictions on everything that I do. Whereas at McDonald's, for example, now, well, because of COVID, but it did start to get delivered beforehand, and now they just leave it outside the door, so very convenient, and you can just pick it up and eat it, and it doesn't take that long to eat. Whereas Chinese comes in its own separate packaging, and if you have like pancakes and stuff, you have lots of different things that you go to, and you need a big area to set it all out, and it takes a long time to eat. Whereas when I'm eating, the shorter I can spend, or the less time I can spend eating, the better, because it means I can get on with other stuff. So I think that's the only thing, the only negative with Chinese at the moment, but hopefully I'll be able to get back to it, to eating Chinese in the future. We will see. But thank you for that, Carl. Susan has donated $10. Thank you for that, Susan. The message is, really love the Patreon video treat with an update on what you were doing. Your Patreon posts are always neat, and getting a video update last night rocked. So thank you for that, Susan. And yes, I always try to give you guys an update in at least text form, so you guys know what's happening on the days that I don't do analysis videos, which are a Monday and a Thursday, whereas every other night you can see me on the screen, so you know exactly what I'm doing. But yes, last night there was a little update video just to throw it out there about tomorrow night's video with Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult, and just to let you guys know that I was editing that together. So look out for that tomorrow. So Carla has donated $1.99, and Carla says, happy belated birthday, Neil Hansen, with a birthday cake. So everyone say a big happy birthday, belated happy birthday to Neil. So we have the 2 moderators there with Carla wishing Neil a happy birthday. So Laurie is also in there somewhere moderating, and the moderators go through, their names are in blue and they have a wrench next to their name, but Carla and Neil are 2 of those said moderators. So I hope you had a great birthday, Neil, and thank you for doing such a great job moderating with Carla and Laurie. So let's jump down a little bit and just get a few more of these. We have Lila, who has donated $10. Thank you for that. And the message is thank you. So with the guy praying, so there's a lot of thanks going on. And Cara has donated $4.99. Thank you for that, Cara. The message is Phil, can you write a song about a guy who hosts a live stream dedicated to healing powers of music, or to the healing powers of music? So thank you for the question, and I don't know whether I could write a song. Maybe you guys could write a song and get together and do some lyrics and come up with some chords. The problem with writing songs is it takes time, and time is something that is a very precious commodity at the moment, especially given that, in just over a few days we've gone up by over 1,000 subscribers, which is great, but it does mean that my inbox is overflowing with emails. And by the way, guys, if you have sent me an email and you haven't got a reply yet, don't panic. I'm just working my way through them. I'm probably maybe 3 or 4 days behind. So because it's been a bit of a surge since Tuesday, and actually before Tuesday, things really did take off and we were getting a few more subscribers, which is great, but I will get to those emails ASAP. So that's just to let you guys know, if you haven't received an email reply from me yet and you did send a message maybe 2 or 3 days ago, it always takes me a few days to get around to them, but I will eventually. So thank you for that, Cara. And Amy has donated $9.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, hey, Wings of Pegasus and Wingers rock. So thank you for that, Amy. And let me just scroll down a little bit. And Kay has donated $5. Thank you for that, Kay. And the message is, it's my understanding that the Grateful Dead used the Wall of Sound in some of their concerts in the 1970s. Is it still used today? So thank you for that question. And the answer to that is definitely yes. It's one of those techniques that in the studio, if you don't know what the Wall of Sound is, if you don't have any experience in production, I'm going to try and tell you what it is in a nutshell. So Phil Spector was a producer who started to record instruments with other instruments and double track them and multi-track them in order to get one part to sound a lot fuller and fill in more frequency. When I talk about frequency, it's just overall sound. So say, for example, you have a guy playing a chord on a piano, and that piano, it just sounds like a piano, whereas he might then play the same chord on an organ, and he'll put those two sounds together, playing exactly the same chord, but have the organ lower in the mix, so that you can't really tell it's an organ, but now the piano sounds a lot fuller. And you can start to layer up instruments, play the same chord on various instruments, even on the guitar, have that low in the mix and put it underneath the organ, which is underneath the piano, and you're now starting to get a really full sound from one chord, because it's lots of instruments that have been lined up together. And then when you think about stereo and now being able to pan things left and right, it meant that you could get 3 or 4 instruments all playing the same chord, all mixed in together, and they're in the same position in the stereo field. So it means that you can't tell them apart, because if you had a piano in the left channel, you had an organ in the right channel, you had a guitar in the middle, then you can tell those instruments apart because they're coming at you from different locations. Whereas when you place them all in the same position, you can't distinguish between those instruments. You just get a really thick sound. So that is what Phil and then a lot of producers afterwards did, and that's what Kay is referring to, and it's definitely still in use here. And I did it on my album, for example. When a particular part isn't quite as full as you want it to be, you would underlayer it with another instrument just to thicken it up. And that can go for having strings underneath a piano part, or even having a guitar and picking out guitar strings that might be underneath the piano, or even putting piano low in the mix when you're playing a guitar and picking out particular strings, particular notes, but having that piano that's really going to give you a little bit more attack and a little bit more emphasis on every single note. So you can start to mix that in. Obviously, you've got to make sure that your timing's spot on to get each pick in time with each pressing of a key. But if you can get that, you start to get some really great sounds going on. You can thicken up sounds, and yeah, you can come up with your own wall of sound depending on what you want your production to sound like. But yes, anyway, I could talk about that all night, but thank you for that, Kay. And Cara has donated $1.99. Thank you for that, Cara. And the message is, Phil, do you have a muse now or ever? I'm not sure that I do. Maybe I'm gonna have to think about it. I'm gonna think if I have a particular muse. I don't know whether anything sticks out, whether I've mentioned anything on the live streams, but I'll have a think about it. But one thing that I will do is get into the cover video. I know that we've just gone, or no, we're just approaching 25 to 1 here in the morning, so we are going to be getting into the cover video. I'm going to have a think about that, and maybe have a think about 1 or 2. I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time thinking while the video plays. But what I want to try and do is try something different, because I was setting up the live stream earlier in order to organize the screen so that we could watch together not that I'm going to be on screen, but I'm going to attempt to watch together with you my video that's on YouTube, but then stream it while I'm watching it. And this might become disastrous because it means that I'm now downloading something and watching it while streaming, and maybe the download speed affects the upload speed. We do not know, but we are about to find out, because hopefully if I click on a button, it should be able to zoom to the window that I'm looking at. And there it is. So this is my cover of the Thundercats theme, and this was a cartoon back in the day. I think you've got to be a particular age in order to have seen it, but I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm just going to press play on YouTube, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it and we'll be able to watch it. Let's see what happens. Thundercats video, here we go. Rock. And there we have it. I'm hoping that you guys could hear that and that you could see that. So if you could, let me know in the live chat room, because that was something totally different that I haven't done on a live stream before, because everything normally I have to upload into the software in order to show you guys. But I thought I'd just throw that in there to see if it worked. And if it did, great. If it didn't, then I can avoid doing that in the future. But I should have spent more time thinking about the question about having, let me scroll up a little bit, because Kara's question of, Phil, do you have a muse now or ever? And I don't know, it's difficult to say, because I know that talking about a muse is going back to something, or especially highlighting a female inspiration. And the only person that I have mentioned on a showmanship side of things was Tina Turner. And I guess that's the same kind of thing when somebody's asked, who have you been inspired by most as a female artist? And she was one that, from a just show perspective and putting drama into a performance, I saw her perform at Wembley, and this is just on TV many years ago, but she struck me as just being so confident on stage, putting on such a show. And I know that she didn't play guitar, but I think that when you're putting on a show and when you are performing live, there are so many things that go into it, because it is entertainment. That's what you're doing, at least you're attempting to entertain a lot of people with artistry. So I would go for Tina Turner. And like I said, I know that it's supposed to be really directed in a female sense, but I've mentioned about Jimi Hendrix being the guy if I'm talking about an inspiration or somebody who has affected my life on the guitar and musically. Certainly when I heard Jimi Hendrix play, I then started to want to learn how to do, or attempt to do, what he was doing. So that would be the male side of things in terms of the answer to that question. But thank you, Cara, for that. And Linda Z has donated $5. Thank you for that, Linda. The message is, are you able to share any more details of your talk with Buck Dharma, like some of the other topics that you cut out of the video for tomorrow? And I can't remember off the top of my head because there's so much, but all of the things that I mentioned earlier about just inspiration on guitar, rehearsals. Also, I asked about when Blue Oyster Cult are rehearsing, how they do that in the studio, but also when they have, Buck mentioned about when they're doing the big tours, they will have rehearsals in the venues that they're performing. So they will literally get into the arena with nobody there and go through the whole show. And that was when they had all the lasers going off and everything. And yeah, all of that is then put together so that they've got it all down, especially when you're playing to thousands of people. You want to make sure that the show is just dead on. And that's something that we spoke about. Also, we spoke about singing and singing techniques, and Buck and his voice, and the way that he used to sing and that he didn't sing at all to begin with, and he learned to sing, and now he really advises. Well, I asked him what advice does he have to people who are then now learning to sing, and he said just his advice is to get coaching wherever you can and practice as much as you can. Also, we spoke about recording techniques in the studio, and Buck wears an in-ear monitor when he's recording in the studio, and then he's got his cans over the top of his in-ear monitors, and he has one can or one side of his headphones off his head so that he can hear the sound of his voice in the room that he's recording, and he's got that totally dry sound. We talk about singing without any reverb or delay on a totally dry sound. We also talk about that with guitar. So there's plenty of stuff that we spoke about, but thank you, Linda Z, for that. I haven't got time to try and remember everything, but I'm sure that, well, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the future, I can get some time to edit that together in different videos, even if they're 5 or 10 minute videos, because it's all interesting stuff listening to Buck. But thank you, Susan and Dennis are in the house, who have donated $10. I mentioned them earlier, and the message is, Dennis is asking, what does adjusting the truss rod do, and under what circumstances does it need adjusting? Also, please say welcome and hello to Susan's brother, Richard Christensen, in live chat. So everybody say a huge hello to Richard in that live chat room, and thank you guys for that donation and the question. So the truss rod on the guitar is a rod that runs down the neck. If you can imagine, just for the purposes of explaining it, a metal rod that runs through the whole guitar. And I don't know whether you would have seen it or not, but on the back of the headstock on a guitar, there's a little gap there, and some of them are covered over, so you then lift the flap up, but some of them aren't at all. And you've got an Allen key that will come with your guitar, and you use the Allen key to adjust the truss rod. And what that is doing is attempting to straighten out your fretboard, the neck of the guitar. If you imagine that after a while, if you have your guitar just standing up in a spot for a very long time, and I'm talking about multiple years, you might find that the neck starts to bow ever so slightly. So it means that on particular frets on your guitar, you might now get fret buzz where you've never had it before, because literally the neck is bending. So it means that it's bringing particular parts of the neck of the guitar closer to the string. So then when you hold down the string and when the string vibrates, it's catching the fret and it's giving you that buzzing sound. So it means that if you imagine that you've got my hand being the example of the neck, you can see there's a slight bend in there. If you start adjusting the truss rod to counteract that, you are forcing the metal to straighten up the neck in order to now get it flat again. So that's what you're going to be doing with that in order to try and get the best action on your guitar. And action is the height of the strings compared to the neck. So the lower the action, the straighter the piece of wood has to be that your guitar has. So this is why sometimes if you get a very cheap guitar, they can already have a little bit of bowing to them and you might get fret buzz. Whereas if you get a really quality piece of wood that is dead flat, it means that you can get a really low action. And yeah, some people really like that to play really fast, but then again, some people like a higher action. So it's all to do with your preference. But regardless of whether you've got a high action or a low action, getting your fretboard as flat as possible is the key. That's what everybody wants. So that's what you can do with the truss rod, and that's how you change it. And it is something that you probably don't want to have a go at yourself unless you know what you're doing, because there's a chance you might be twisting it the wrong way and then just making your guitar bow even more, and you might do it too much. You really want to be subtle with it. You don't want to just get that Allen key and start just wrenching it round time after time after time after time, because it will be quite forceful, and if you keep on doing that, there's a chance that you could actually damage the neck of your guitar. So just bit by bit, and probably give it to somebody who knows what they're doing. Take it to a shop and they can adjust that for you. But anyway, that's what it does. So thank you for that question. And Liam has donated $2. Thank you for that, Liam. The message is, love your Phil. So thank you for the kind words and that donation. And one Sean Bond has donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, you are the best. Appreciate your help in getting me back playing, bro. Awesome content as well. Cheers, Phil. So great news that you get your fingers back on the fretboard and no problem. Sue has donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Sue. That's a straight up donation. And Vince has donated $5. Thank you for that, Vince. The message is, the sound on the Thundercats cover was great, but there was some pixelation though. I think those were intentional effects. That was a fun video. So thank you for that. And the pixelation wasn't on the video. If it did pixelate, I think that's because I was showing you guys something that I was watching on the screen. So my internet was just overworking, and that's why pixelation probably happened. So maybe it's not such a good idea to do that in the future, but I wanted to try it anyway. So Jill has donated $20. Thank you for that, Jill. The message is, if your interview with Buck Dummer was long, maybe you could cut a little mini series of it. That way we could see most of your visit with him. Just a suggestion. Looking forward to seeing it this Sunday. Rock on, Phil, with a smiley face and a heart. So thank you for that, Jill. And I will try to do that in the future. I think it's going to be a case of trying to fit in the videos. I'll probably spread them out a little bit as well. I do have quite a lot of footage still with Daniel Donato that I haven't got round to yet, because Daniel is a great country player and having his cosmic country style, and also he's got some great tips about just practicing and just playing in general. So there's probably loads of videos that I could be making up if I had the time. I need to employ some editing person to do videos for me so that they're just magically ready. But I will try to get to those in the future, but thank you for that, Jill. And let me just scroll down a little bit. Let's see what we're doing with the time. It's 13 minutes to 1 here in the UK. So Kevin has donated $2. Thank you for that, Kevin. The message is, happy 72nd birthday to Steve Perry with some rock horns. And thank you for that, Kevin. And even to think of Steve being 72, that is crazy, because he's one of those guys that just looks young all the time. He doesn't seem to age. But thank you for that, Kevin. And Karen has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. The message is, hi Phil, Beethoven said music can change the world. I appreciate the positivity and inspiration from your music and for being you. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that, Karen, and the kind words as well. And one more that we have from Carla, and I'm quickly going to try and run through these because we have a few things still to get through. We've got the pick roulette for tonight as well. But Carla has donated $1.99 and says, Chris Law in the house with a winky face. So Chris is in the live chat room there somewhere. Everybody say hello to Chris. Chris was in the video a few live streams ago where we did our cover of Sweet Emotion. So a big hello to Chris if he's in that live chat room. And hopefully a few of you saw him in there a few weeks ago as well. But he is back again. And Ray has donated $50. Thank you so much for that, Ray. A very kind donation. And the message is, Phil, I have been mesmerized by 2 videos of a young Bono singing Pride with U2. He was a wild man on stage. In one performance, he turns a monitor on its side and then sits on it. What is the craziest thing you have ever seen on stage live? I don't know. I think a lot of the crazy things that you see on stage live, you see on YouTube and they go around the world. And when Dave Grohl jumped off the stage and literally broke his leg, that was a little bit crazy. But I'm trying to think of anything that I've seen that's really crazy on stage. There was a band that we played with. We did this competition in the UK called Surface Unsigned, which was a competition that ran across the whole UK for unsigned bands, and that's the competition that Wings of Pegasus finished 3rd in. And then we went on a UK tour after that. That was kind of one of the prizes. But there was a band, and they were called Great Imitation, I think, but they were like a rap band. And their front man was just crazy on stage, and he'd go off stage and he'd get involved in the crowd and stand up on tables and paint his body, draw all over himself. And that's pretty crazy, but none of you guys would know that. But that is something that certainly sticks in my mind from my playing career in the past, but that was a very long time ago. But pretty much anything else, I don't know. I went to see The Darkness live at Wembley Arena, and it was Justin who got on top, Justin Hawkins, who got on top of, I think it was a giant tiger. And then he was suspended in the air, and then it flew over the crowd, just the front section of the crowd. So that was extravagant, but that's what The Darkness are all about with their live stage shows. So yeah, that's another thing. But anyway, thank you, Ray, so much for that. And Marge has donated $2 as well. Thank you for that, Marge. And it's a straight up donation. So we're going to be getting into the cover for tonight, and we're going to have to really move along here. So I know that it's got to be live stream time after this. This is going to be my cover of Just Got Lucky by Dokken. It's my version of it. Obviously, it's not Dokken performing it, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after this. Rock! Just Got Lucky by Dokken. Let's do this. Rock! there we have it. That was my cover of Just Got Lucky by Dokken. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And as you can see in that video, that was back when I had time to shave. I think something that has definitely happened more often with the analysis videos and having more subscribers is not having enough time to do things like that. But this is probably the longest I've gone without shaving, but I do blame all of the things that have been happening recently, but they've been very good things because of these subscribers and the amount of people now watching the videos and these live streams. So thank you guys for tuning in and getting so involved in the live chat room tonight, but also in the comment section of the videos on the channel in general. But we are going to be moving into the pick roulette for tonight. Just a quick word on that Just Got Lucky Dokken cover. It's easy for me to say. I was thinking that when I recorded that, because I used to spend about 2 weeks on each of the videos that I was doing, a cover video, and then mix it all together, do that kind of stuff. I know that with that one particular cover, I would love to have had the time to do a crowd vocal, because that's something that I think is missing on that. I know that I just stuck it together within a couple of weeks, but maybe it's something that we can do in the future, where if any of you guys in the live chat room can hit a note, or you can shout out a particular note, then we can get lots of voices and I can just import it onto the track and just mix it in and have a crowd vocal for that song, because I think it does miss it a little bit in the chorus, but I am one of those perfectionists, so when I hear it I think, oh, that'd be great to have a little bit of crowd vocal going on there, just that gang vocal. It's calling out for that, and that's certainly something that Dokken were great at doing, getting such a full sound on their records. But anyway, let's get into the pick roulette for tonight. We're just coming up to 1 AM. Where are we with the likes? 320 likes. We are well on the way. We're going for 360, so we're looking for 40 more people to hit that thumbs up. We will see if 40 more people tune in, but if you are one of those 40 and you haven't used that thumbs up yet, now's a great time to do it. We are going to be jumping into this. I will get the background going, and let's just jump into the pick roulette and see whose lucky night it is. Rock! So here we have it, and the pick roulette wheel is now up on screen. Thank you guys for entering your names in for this and getting it all organised. Carla as well, massive thank you to you. And if you haven't seen this before, we're gonna just mix it up 5 times, do a shuffle of the names, so that we start with something that is totally random. 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is what I mentioned earlier. If we get to 200,000 subscribers on the channel, there will be a guitar on this wheel that people can win. So, fingers crossed. I don't know if we'll ever get there, but that would be fun to have that going. So, good luck everybody, and let's give the wheel a spin and see who's going to win. So let me see if I can catch a name, because last time I picked out a name and I almost got it right. Right, let's have a little look. Still going too quickly. I'm going to pick Joe. Joe's going through there, and oh, I think he's not quite going to come around. It's slowing down. We've got Paula, Chet, Carl, and Laurie. And it looks like it is good. Oh, I thought it might go a little bit further, but there we have it. That is, let me move this over a little bit. We have Laurie Kane. So congratulations to you. And it almost sounded like I was going to break into song there, but congratulations. And the way that we run this now is that Carla, it's always been the case that you have to let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room while the pick roulette is going, once you've won, if you can let yourself be known in the live chat room, then you can get that pick and we'll send that off to you. So thank you everyone for taking part tonight, and congratulations Laurie for winning as well, and just let yourself be known in that live chat room. We will have a look. Unfortunately, if you're not in the live chat room when the pick roulette is happening, then there's no way of us getting the pick to you, because it has to be done live, and that's just the way that the pick roulette runs. That's the protocol. So congratulations, and let me see if I can get everything back to where we were, and here I am. And let me just bring that super chat window up on screen as well. So congratulations, but commiserations to everybody who was on that wheel, and it's not your lucky night tonight, unfortunately, but the good thing is there's always another opportunity in the future to win a Wings of Pegasus pick on the pick roulette, and the next opportunity will be on Tuesday. So if you haven't tuned in to a Tuesday pick roulette, then you can do that, or just tune into the whole live stream and you'll be able to see that there'll be another opportunity. So the way to get your name on the wheel that I haven't mentioned yet is that you type I agree while you can see this live chat room on the screen. And if you see your name go through with I agree written after it, then that means that you will be on the wheel for the next pick roulette. In order to have it in the first place, we've got to hit the target of 365. So that is what we are aiming for tonight. The pick roulette likes target, which is over there. I'm always looking at the reversed image of myself, so I always point in the wrong directions on this. But the target's 365, so it looks like we need another 31, is that? In order to make it for the pick roulette, and we might have 10 minutes or so. It's always a race against time towards the end of these live streams to get the likes in there to hit the pick roulette likes target, but fingers crossed that we will be able to do that. Let's head over to Patreon again and have a look at which songs were requested over there. Let me have a little scroll up. I can see that there's Paris Nord in there, Percy Johnson, Don't Cry, Hero as well, and Hero again. Melissa has requested that, so maybe we'll get a little bit of Hero up on screen. That's the one that I'm going to go for. So thank you for requesting. Oh, Donna wanted Hero as well, so that one I think has got the most votes, and Melissa, also Kevin. So thank you guys for requesting this one. It's going to be the lyric video for my song called Hero, and while this is playing, I'm going to leave the live chat room on screen so you guys can type I agree, and if you want to hit that thumbs up. We've not got very long, like I said, maybe 10 minutes, a little bit less, and the duration of this video that's coming up. So I hope maybe we can get a few more people to hit that thumbs up, because we are really close to getting to this likes target. Let me click on the correct link. Hopefully this will work, and I'll see you guys after. Rock. And there we have it. That was my song called Hero. Again, you can pick that up over at wingsofpegasus.com from my album, which is called Persistence. So we're going to be calling things to a close now. And we have literally just, I think, gone past 366 on the Lycometer. So we were aiming for 365. That was probably the perfect 3 or 4 minutes that we left for that video to be played, and then you guys have clicked on the thumbs up. So thank you everyone for reaching the target. This is great because it means next week we're going to have another pick roulette, and I am going to drag it out just a little bit, maybe for another minute, maybe 2, because now if you haven't typed I agree, then just type I agree in the live chat room, because then your name will go through the live chat room and you can get your name on the pick roulette wheel for next week. So I'm going to drag it out just a little bit because I can see we've got some I agrees coming through, and Scott is about to go through with one, and Mark and Vincent, and I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to keep a little lookout to see if anybody else goes through typing I agree, and Bara and Slay Blaze I think is coming up as well, and well, there's a few more, Jennifer and Christy and Jim, and I think I can see the I agrees before they come up on the screen. And Julia, we've got a run of them here. Julia, Rob, Jeanette, and Raider7, Christy, and Maidenfan18A, Wild Bill is in the house as well and has just said I agree. And Timothy and Christy and Bob and Louis or Lewis and Susan. So I'm still dragging this out, and Leanne says she's already agreed. Susan Johnson just going through there. Rob as well. And Rob says you are awesome, so thank you for that. It's going through very quickly. And Laurie says please only post I agree once, which is something that is going to make it very difficult. If you keep on posting I agree, it doesn't mean that you get 2 or 3 or 4 of your name on the wheel. You only get 1, and it means it's going to make a lot more work for Carla because she'll keep on writing down the same name. So anyway, thank you guys for typing I agree and going through there. We have Pam who's just going through, and Diane as well is about to pop through. I think we're pretty much getting there, and I could be saying this all night. I did say I would drag it out for maybe a minute or 2. So that is it now. So we're calling the final orders on the I agrees. So thank you for joining me tonight on the live stream, all you guys in the live chat room, for hitting the thumbs up as well, because it really does make it more interesting for me, especially to see your names up on screen and to give out a, even though it's just a signed pick, it's something that's a bit of fun. Also, you can grab the pick tin that I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream, and you can contact Carla. Head over to the Facebook page, the Wings of Pegasus supporters page on Facebook if you're not already joined up there. That's where a lot of conversation happens musically, but also a lot of ideas for the live streams are posted on there, and ideas for merchandise as well. So things that are popular over there generally then turn into merchandise that I can get made up, and we can start to do things like the pick roulette, which is something that Carla has started up and is now a regular fitment in these live streams. So thank you again for that. I'm going to be calling it to a night now, and as always, thank you guys for all of the very kind super chat donations, and a big shout out to my patrons whose names go along the bottom of the screen. You know who you are, but they are the foundation of this channel and allow me to keep on relentlessly uploading to the channel for every single analysis video. Also, the video with Buck Dharma that's coming out tomorrow night. Make sure that you see that one and you don't miss it. And then we'll be live streaming again on Tuesday night and doing a live analysis on Wednesday nights. That happens at 12 midnight, same time as the live streams. And then another analysis video Friday night. And then we're back to next Saturday night, where we'll be streaming all over again and doing this all over again, having another pick roulette. So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Try to stay as safe as possible, follow your government's guidelines, all of that stuff. Wear your masks and keep yourself isolated and keep your distance from everybody else. And yeah, hopefully that is something that myself and Buck did mention in the video, how everything is just grounded, or has grounded to a halt because of coronavirus and live music. But check that video out tomorrow night, and I will see you guys at the next live stream, hopefully on Tuesday if you can make it, but if not, I'll see you live next Saturday night. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock!